has a pullout called the real estate, and Nanyuki is booming, is a hotspot for real estate right now. And it's because if you think about it, if you go to Nanyuki, it's so close to Laikipia, which has a lot of conservancies. So there's, it's a tourism attraction. That's one. And apparently there's good infrastructure there. And then the location and the proximity to Nairobi is very, very near. So according to this story by Amos Kiarie, Nanyuki is becoming a hotspot for real estate. You can check that out in our standard newspaper today. But let's get you informed, and then I'll point you back to other stories later on. KCB Group PLC profit after tax for the full year 2024 grew by 64.9% to 61.8 billion shillings. Now, accelerated by strong expansion across all businesses, this was a rise from 37.5 billion shillings reported a similar period last year. Total income grew by 24% to 204.9 billion shillings from 165.2 billion shillings, with net interest income increasing by 28%. On the balance sheet side, customers' deposits closed the year at 1.4 trillion shillings. Non-funded income contribution of 33% of the total revenues was boosted by fees and commissions from transactions, trade finance, and forex. KCB board proposed a final dividend of 1 shilling and 50 cents per share, bringing the total payout for the year to 3 shillings per share, amounting to 9.6 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, Agriculture and Livestock Development Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has today ordered for the destruction of 27,518 bags of an expired consignment of fertilizer held in various National Cereals and Produce Board stores across the country. The Kenya Bureau of Standards is to supervise the safe destruction of this consignment of sulfate of ammonia, that is 21% fertilizer, that was delivered to NCPB between 27th December 2024 and 6th January 2025. NCPB management issued a stoppage order of the consignment on 27th February 2025, with KEBS seizing the fertilizer on 4th March 2025. Now let's move on to technology, where technological growth in vital strategy for securing Kenya's position in the global digital economy, with Kenya actively embracing artificial intelligence across various sectors. This is according to the country manager for Microsoft Kenya, Phyllis Migwi, speaking during the Artificial Intelligence Conference in Africa. She says Kenya's tech sector has a great story to tell when it comes to the adoption of advanced digital tools like AI and machine learning.
We are moving to this next era of AI. We're moving from a place where, you think of like ChatGPT, which was itself amazing. You type to it, it types to you, and it could summarize things, and it could answer questions. But now we're moving to this place where AI does things for you, where it actually does things on your behalf.
The conversation that we're having today is to actually help leaders across government and the business sector to think through what does it take to actually build an economy a digital economy where you're leveraging AI. As we know, in Kenya, we have already raised our hand and said we're the Silicon Savannah. We've then gone ahead and said we're mobile first, and we've shown people what they can do with mobile technology, with M-Pesa. Are we building the right capabilities for Kenya to actually lead the charge for Africa? And with that, we've had a conversation around the Microsoft AI Skilling Initiative that was launched in November. The next frontier is what can we do to empower individuals, to empower organizations, leveraging AI.
Now, women professionals have been urged to mentor young girls in pursuing careers in traditionally male-dominated fields such as finance, engineering, manufacturing, and technology to help bridge the gender gap in these industries. Speaking at an International Women's Day event hosted by Davis and Shadleaf Women in Leadership Initiative at its Nairobi Industrial Area headquarters, industry leaders particularly highlighted the stark underrepresentation of women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that's STEM, in careers.
Now, those of you who are engineers, and I know there are quite a few here, you would know that in a class of 100, if you get 3, there are many, 3% thereabout. And so with that very thin pipeline, we have taken a very stern affirmative action that for every interview that we are holding, there must be ladies. And we are not giving them these positions because we are doing them a favor or because they're the weak agenda, that's a dirty word for us, weak agenda. We give them because they rightfully deserve, and they have delivered.
World Economic Forum has noted that with the current rate of progress, it will take over a century to achieve full gender parity. Surprise, a century, yeah? 100 years is clearly beyond the lifetime of our generation and perhaps that of our children. Hence the appropriateness of the International Women's Day theme for 2020.
Now, with the number of electrical accidents rising to 153 cases as of June 2024 and continued risks in handling LPG and petroleum, EPRA today convened an over 300 industry leaders at the National Stakeholders Conference to launch the Alliance for Safety under the KAS Safety Mtaani campaign. Now, the coalition brings together key players in the energy and petroleum sector to drive a nationwide culture of safety, responsibility, and compliance. Now,
we are hopeful that this campaign is going to help us address the issue of safety in the entire supply chain for LPG and petroleum and electricity. That is basically why we are here today. And we are confident that from here going forward, a lot of change will be evident. I have said, and you heard it clearly, giving or putting those unscrupulous business persons, the dealers who are used to illegalities and engaging in irregular activities, that their days are now numbered. Because the law is on our side and the resolve is now stronger.
The recent tragedy in Miradi that occurred in February 2024, which claimed lives, serves as a very painful reminder that we cannot continue to be complacent. Statistics indicate that low awareness levels on the perception of risk, compliance and safety requirements have contributed significantly to these accidents. According to our EPRA 2024 Public Awareness Survey, over 60% of Kenyans lack sufficient knowledge on safe handling of LPG, petroleum and electricity, leading to preventable accidents and economic loss.
now let's move on to Taita Taveta, where the county pending bills is shutting down hopes for many suppliers and service providers within the coastal region. Among them, tour companies that organize domestic tourism, promotional events, visiting tourist sites in Taita Taveta. However, Taita Taveta County has not been able to pay some of the companies like Mlilo Tours and others over 1.9 million since 2016. Currently, Taita Taveta County has over 1.92 billion pending bill, as Hezron Kimani now reports from Voi.
Well, since devolution, Taita Taveta County has been faced by challenges of pending bills from different suppliers, different contractors, and one of them is Mlilo Tours, who for many years have been asking for their payment for service that they offered during out to promote domestic tourism, but until now they haven't managed to get anything. And today they were given appointment to meet some of the top officials to see how they can be helped. But again, until now, they haven't seen anyone. So we'll be having an opportunity to hear their sentiments, maybe what they have to say.
All department heads walikuwa involved, mpaka na provincial administration. Mkutano huo ulifanyika kama wiki mbili kabla event. Everything was okay. Kila kitu kilikuwa kiko sawa. Lakini siku ya kufanya hiyo kazi, tulishangaa kumbe pesa zilikuwa zimetoka. Makubaliano yalikuwa ni 2.9 million. Kwa kazi ya 14 days. Community walijitolea katika kila ward. Watu ward 20 CBOs wote walitoka support hiyo event. Ilikuwa vizuri sana sana sana. Na watu 500 waliparticipate. Na from that event ndio 14 sites zikawa gazetted. Sasa hivi tunajivunia kwamba tuko nazo sites za tourism. Mshangao wetu ni kwamba hiyo pesa ilipotoka walilipo na watu wengine. Total 1.4 million. Hiyo 1.4 million walichukua kama impressed. Na hakuna kitu walilipa, hakuna payment visa naonyesha support hiyo. Na wanasema walitulipa na hatujalipo. Sasa hivi watu wamekuwa mewakali, wanasema mimi nimekula pesa na sijakula hiyo pesa.
Tukaambiwa tutalipwa, hatujaona kitu mpaka leo. Na wale wenzetu tulikuwa nao wanafikiria sisi tumepewa tukala, ambayo si kweli. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio sababu hasa sisi kuamua tuambie ulimwengu kwamba mambo hayako sawa. Leo tulikuwa tukutane na Pamphil
na waziri wa finance.
Na waziri wa finance.
Laban.
Na jana waliambiwa washughulikia hayo mambo yaishe leo. Sasa tunafika asubuhi hawakuja, saa hizi tumekuja tunaambiwa wako Taveta. Kama wanatuhepa, inamaanisha kuna kitu wanaficha. Na yale mambo wanaficha ndio tunataka watu waambie kwa nini hawataki kulipa watu haki yao.
Mambo haya yalifanyika na tukafunguliwa mpaka hata na ofisi pale ya Domestic Tours Association. Mimi ni member na makundi mengi ya kina mama walikuwa hapo, na kusema ule ukweli ofisi ile ilifunguliwa na wengi wanakuja kudai pesa yao mahali pale ambao hawakulipwa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba haki ifanyike. Groups za kina mama wale walishiriki, wengine walipika, walifanya mambo mengi, wanakuja pale wakidai haki yao.
Na sasa haya mambo yanakuja kutuharibia jina, na pia jina yetu ikiharibika hata ya kaunti mzima itakuwa imeharibika. Na ikiharibika hii kaunti ndio iko na buga za wanyama zile kubwa sana, 22,000 km squared. Kenya mzima hata na Afrika ya pande hii hakuna mahali kuna buga ya wanyama kubwa kushida Tsavo, East and West. Na sasa inafaa tufanye kila jitihada. 1.9 million ni pesa kidogo sana kwa serikali. Hii ni kuonyesha tu ni kama kufinyiria wale watu ambao wanasaidia kaunti iendelee na iweze kuendesha hii mambo ya tourism.
Well, as you've heard from the representative of Mlilo Tours and other tour operators here in Taita County, they are complaining against the county government for not paying their pending bills for many years.
Well, that story from Taita Taveta does it for Business at 1. Tunaomba haki ifanyike, quoting one of the speakers there. And I'll still point you back to the Standard newspaper. There's really bold reporting on the real estate segment, where there's a story on how Cusco board pocketed around 18 million for site visits for a particular real estate project. And in that project, what was meant to be spent, they spent over 90% over because of exchanging cash and kickbacks. Really, really bold reporting by Graham Kajilwa. But that story does it for Business at 1. Jeff Mogire is coming up next with sports.